Hey guys, it's your girl Londyn, and today I have such an exciting video. Why? Because it was so unexpected. Today we are going to review and we are going to do a look with the Zendo palette from Natasha Denona. No, not the mini Zendo, you didn't hear me wrong. The Zendo palette from Natasha Denona. I know we just got Circo Loco maybe 2, 3 months ago, but here we are with another drop from Natasha Denona. I think most of us were wondering what her summer palette might look like, or if the Circo Loco was the summer palette because it was so colorful. It had launched, just months prior to the warm weather coming in, but no. Zendo is the palette for the summer. So the Zendo palette is one of her midi palettes. So it's not one of the larger $129 palettes, but it is the coveted, the beloved $65 palette. So I know everybody loves these palettes because although $65 is still a little pricey, it's much better than the $129 price point of her larger palettes. And then of course, much better than her $239 price point of the mega palettes. So let's kind of talk a little bit, shall we? This, guys, is the mini Zendo. If you know me and if you've watched my review of my favorite palettes from last year, you would know that the mini Zendo palette is one of my favorite palettes, especially from Natasha Denona. I just really love this color story. I think that it is muted yet beautiful, soft yet punchy. I really, really like this palette, and I think that when you use it, you're always going to get a beautiful look. When I had first seen that she was coming out with the Zendo palette on Trend Mood, which it literally was like 2 days ago when I filmed a Will I Buy It, I wasn't quite sure what it was going to look like in person to have a full version of the mini Zendo palette because it's kind of giving you what it's giving you, and it's giving you greatness, but again, it's giving you what it's giving you. It kind of is what it is. So then all of a sudden I got an email that said, hey, Natasha Denona site, pre-order for the Zendo palette. What? You gotta be kidding me. I think that this isn't supposed to actually drop till May 10th. I said, sure. Right away, pre-order, paid for it, done, because Natasha Denona is an auto buy purchase for me. Then today, my husband and I are just laying in bed, doing what we do, watching The Crown because we're on season 1, just really getting into it, and I get an email saying, your package has been delivered. My package has been delivered? What package has been delivered? It was from FedEx. I said, Natasha Denona. I said, honey, I'm gonna need you to get up and go downstairs, get to that door, and see if my package is there. And it was. I said, let's finish watching the rest of this episode, and then I have got to go because I have got to do a video on this because I am just too excited. So here we go, guys. Prepare yourself, breathe in, get ready, let's go. This is the unicarton. So this is very kind of bronzy pink. I'm here for it. I do wish that it was more identifiable, but when you really look at the mini Zendo kind of color story and then you kind of look at the colors here, it kind of really does go together. You can see this, it's not quite rose gold, but it is a rosy metallic, and they do go together. So I do get it. It's the same kind of coloring as the actual unit. So they do go together in that respect. So I'm here for it. And then here we go. Here's the actual palette. Trying not to give you guys too much of a view of the mess I have going on here. I like the pink kind of burgundy metallic, like I said, just like the unicarton, just like on the mini Zendo. But I do think that it does lend itself to be slightly close to like the sunset palette, the bronze palette, that kind of thing. So I wish I had been slightly more distinctive, kind of like the back, like just a little more distinctive with the kind of rosy pink hue. Not to be confused with the Love palette, of course, but just a little more than that. I love the Zendo down here. That is just, love it. Can you guys see all that mess right there? Oh my gosh, guys. So ashamed. It has the full mirror, as all her palettes do. And this is the color story. Guys, get into this. This is beautiful. And let me tell you, the pictures do not do it justice, guys. Absolutely not. This is gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to read you guys just a little bit about the palette itself, because I think that this was kind of a shock for everyone. So it says that a warm toned palette inspired by the mini Zendo, featuring 15 new iconic Natasha Denona pressed pigment eyeshadows. It includes hues of pink, brown, coral, and peach with pops of turquoise, a combination of shades that conceptualizes a mix of elements, an ambiance where wood meets metal and nature meets modern. I'm here for it. I love it. I can't read, but I'm here for it. This is a very nice palette. It says that you can create a warm or cool everyday look, bold and expressive. It says that the benefits are that the shades and formulas are hand designed by the world renowned makeup artist Natasha Denona, and that they're made with the highest quality pure color pigments, dazzling chroma crystals, and luminous pearls. That it's buttery smooth, hydrating eyeshadow formula that wears beautifully on any skin type and any skin tone, and per usual, formulated without talc, parabens, or phthalates, cruelty-free, and allergen-free. Then it goes into kind of some of the shade descriptions. The weight is 19.25 grams or 0.67 ounces. And again, it is her midi palette and it is $65. So again, get into this color story. It is beautiful. Now, when I look at this, I look at the mini Zendo. To be quite honest with you, I don't know that I would ever look at these two and immediately think that they should be kind of played off one another. When I look at the Zendo palette, and this is the mini Zendo, I get the theme, which is kind of that pink rosy tone. But again, it doesn't seem like, if I saw this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can totally tell where they came up with the Zendo palette colors from. Same as if I saw the Zendo palette, I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, I totally get where they came up with the mini Zendo palette. So I do think in that respect, you can have both of them, and you're not kind of spending wishy-washily, because I think that they do lend to their own thing. I think this is much more muted, much more kind of, to me, summer in the desert-esque, and the Zendo palette itself, to me, is much brighter. Seems like it has more of a punch kind of to it. I am excited, especially for this color Breath right here. This is this just gorgeous green. I'm very, very excited for that, because I feel like that is a color we have not yet seen in the Natasha Denona palettes. And then there is a color called Yama. And it almost looks like it's a pinky gold. So I'm very excited for that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attempt, and I say attempt because I'm going to do the best that I can, because we're trying here. I'm going to go through, and in this portion, I'm going to try to give some swatches so that way you guys can see what it may look like on a skin tone similar to yours, if your skin tone is similar to mine. So I'm going to just go down the rows like this, the columns. So they're going to be in sets of 3. So the first color is going to be Mindful, then Aurora, and then the color Sense. So let's take a look-see-loo at these. Mindful is kind of like a metallic brown. Or actually, it's kind of, I don't actually know if they all appear to be kind of shimmery. And at the same time, they also appear to be a little bit matte. So this to me is slightly a unique palette. So we're going to go with these 3 colors here. And the first one we're going to do is Mindful. And then we're going to get into Aurora. And then we are going to get in the color Sense. So let me do another little swatchy swatch of Aurora, because I didn't do a really great one. So Aurora actually then is just a very light shade, because it's swatching smoothly, but again, it is swatching a little lighter than like my finger. I would expect this on my finger. That's not quite what I'm getting here. So this is Mindful, Aurora in the middle, Mindful, Aurora, and then Sense. So they're very pretty. But like I said, Aurora isn't necessarily swatching the way I would have anticipated that it was going to swatch in comparison to what actually is in the pan. So now we're going to go to Luster. We're going to go to Vigor, which is a matte. And then we're going to go to Tranquil. So we have Luster, which is kind of a gold. Vigor, which is kind of a cranberry matte. And this one I am having to do 3 times. And then we're going to go to Tranquil. So, Luster, Vigor, Tranquil. As you can see, I think that those 6 shades kind of really play off of each other. And they look like a good color story. Kind of you're getting that pink, brownie, goldy color story to things. Very pretty. I think that they're gorgeous. I think they're going to work beautiful on the eye. But if I'm being honest, right now, swatching them, nothing is calling me to say you should write home to mom about it. But again, swatches are just swatches. This is just purely so you guys can see the color story. That's it. The next one we have is the color Balance, which is going to be a matte brown. Then we have the color Relief, and Relief is going to be a matte pink. And then we're going to go to the color Calm, and Calm is going to be a matte peach. So we have Balance, Relief, and Calm. And so these are all the ones that we have swatched thus far. So I do think that those are some nice kind of grounding colors. We have 6 more to go, and this is where we kind of get into the blue greens and the ones that I think are going to call home a bit more. So because I'm running out of some arm space here, we're going to go ahead and wipe off the ones that we have, because again, we're really just looking for the coloration so you guys can see what it might look like on your skin tone. We're going to go with the color Flow, the color Equilibrium, and then the color Yama, which is that color that, ooh, I think this might be like a multi-chrome. All right, so Flow is this beautiful blue metallic. And then we have Equilibrium, which is a deeper kind of almost gray-y blue metallic. And then we have Yama, which is gorgeous. So here is Flow, Equilibrium, and Yama. And Yama has reflex of kind of pink, gold, and green. So I'm very, very excited about that one. These are ones to write home to mom about. These are ones I'm really excited about. Now let's get into our last ones. Our last one is Mantra, Breath, which is that green color I was excited about, and Zeal. So Mantra is a deep green. Then we have Breath, which is kind of that minty green. And then we have Zeal, which is just this night matte brown. So Mantra, Breath, and Zeal right here. So Mantra is your deep green. Breath is kind of that, it looked actually more minty green inside the palette, but it really looks more kind of like it has a lot more of a white base here. And then Zeal, which is going to be your brown. So I think that Breath was slightly disappointing. So let me kind of show you guys the palette. In the palette, there's Breath. It's kind of like that beautiful greeny color. But when you look at it on my skin tone, it really looks like it's a little white, right? So that's okay, because sometimes, you know, that is why we try things, because each skin tone, the color that is actually in the palette, has the potential to show up slightly different on each variation of skin tone. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to pull you guys in slightly closer, because we are going to get into doing a look with this palette. Okay, so you guys are pulled in a little bit. We're getting our brushes ready, set, ready to go. We are going to kind of start off with the Wayne Goss 17 brush, and I think we're going to start off with the color Balance, and the color Balance here is just this kind of brown color, kind of very just kind of tanny. If you guys want to see the kick up, it does leave a lot of kick up, but again, it's a powder product, so it is to be expected. And we're just going to use this in the entirety of our crease. Ooh, these are punchy. And I did not put any base down. I have no eyeshadow primer. I have no concealer. I have no powder. I have nothing on my eyes. I really wanted to see what these performed like on their own. And I do think that that was very punchy right out of the gate. So depending upon how you like your shadow, you may not necessarily like punch out of the gate. You may want to build up a little bit more. But honestly, I not only think that that had punch right out of the gate, but I also think that it blended absolutely beautifully, which is not something that I would not expect from Natasha Denona, because to me, Natasha Denona shadows, in my eyes, are some of the best shadows on the market. I think that she has an absolutely beautiful formula, and so her shadows kind of really blending themselves never surprises me. And so when she does have something that maybe falls a little bit short, I'm very surprised, because I really do anticipate per- almost perfection from her, because that really is the standard that she has set for eyeshadows. And that was just one dip in to that color balance that I put on the eye. And I think that it is a kind of beautiful base color. I'm not going to go in anymore. There's nothing else left on my brush. I'm just going over just to make sure everything is nice and blended, and it is, and it's beautiful. And so now we're going to take another brush, and we're going to take another color, and we're going to kind of see what we can do. I'm not looking to use all the colors here in the palette. I'm simply just looking to see what kind of look I can do. I hope to do more videos kind of specifically just doing looks with this palette, but here I wanted to do just some quick swatches. To be honest with you, this is like a super informal video, because this was not anticipated for me to even film today, but here we are. So I wanted to get something up for you guys, especially for all you melanated folks out there. A lot of times reviews come out first, and they're helpful, but at the same time, they're on people who don't necessarily look like you, so then they're not quite as helpful as they could be. So I wanted to make sure I could get something out, even if it was informal. So if you guys want to see me do another video specifically on just doing a look, not kind of any of the backstory, not kind of any of the swatch type things, let me know. I definitely can do a get ready with me, or just another kind of palette eyeshadow look with things. I think next I want to go in. Do we want to get a little bold? Do we want to get a little freaky with it? Let's see. Okay, let's do it. Let's go in with the color Mantra. Mantra is this green right here. So Mantra, I think, is a color that most people tend not to go to, because greens can be very, very hard to formulate. So we're going to we're going to see. I'm using my Wayne Goss #4 brush. We're going to see, and we're just going to put it in the lower part of the crease. And we're going to kind of see what this looks like. Now, I don't really fault people when greens or blues are a little wonky, because I feel like they are very hard to formulate. But I think this, honestly, wow. Now that was one swipe in. I really think that that looks nice. Now, you need to go back in it again, at least in my opinion. But I think that that looks really nice. I'm going to go back in again. I'm going to start at the center and then go to the outsides. But I think that looks really nice. Huh, okay. I honestly, I didn't anticipate that. I really anticipated it to be slightly wonky, just because that happens, I think, with most people's blues and greens. But I am pleasantly surprised. Would I have necessarily used this color in a look if I was just here doing something maybe for work or to do whatever I needed to do? Maybe not, but because I did want to give it a try, because I think most people are going to end up doing like a pink look or a brown look, and those are great, but I don't necessarily know how helpful that is for people if they're kind of wondering how some of the more quote unquote difficult shadows perform. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of knows how a brown or a pink or whatnot performs, but I think a lot of people want to know, does a blue or a green kind of perform? And so that's what I'm trying to give you guys here today, especially because I just got this, and we have plenty of time to go in and do some more kind of very standard looks together. I wanted to try to not go too out of the box and something that wasn't wearable, but at the same time, I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bang for buck as far as using some of the more unusual or unconventional shades, so you guys could really get an overall view of what it looks like. I'm not putting any more product on my brush, but I am going back in with the first brush we used, which is the Wayne Goss #17. And I'm just going to blend that edge out. just so that it's not harsh and so that it's smooth. As you can see, even though it is a kind of greeny blue, it really did do a nice job. So I'm not mad at it at all. So now I think we're going to try to see what we might do in the corner. So I'm always trying to find the brush that I think might work the best for that. So I think we're going to go in with the Wayne Goss number 5 brush, which is a little smaller. And I think for the corner, because we did put that blue in, I think I don't want to necessarily ground out with Zeal. Zeal is kind of like that khaki green. I think that might make it be a little too muddy. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go in with Mindful. And Mindful right here, I'm not quite sure if this was a matte, because it does have a sheen. So I think it might actually be a satin. And Natasha Denona does tend to go into creases and corners with satins and shimmers. So I'm not opposed to it. But I want to, oh wow, this is, oh, that's beautiful chocolate brown color, guys. Just beautiful. Okay. Yeah, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous chocolate brown color. I am noticing that it is slightly having a little bit of a hard time covering the kind of greeny blue here on the corner. And that may be because it's just not deep enough. I just went back into it again. And it might also be that we just need to build it up a little bit more. Because that greeny blue was pretty punchy. Which, again, I'm not going to be mad at it. Because it could have been where it was patchy and all the other things that greens and blues can be. But I think that that looks really, really pretty. It's really nice. It's very gradient-esque. And I think that the two kind of blending together is nice in the fact that it lends itself to continue to create that gradient, which I think is nice because sometimes what can happen is in the outer corner, you can end up having your shadow really just blend away, or you can have it start to get very patchy. We haven't experienced that, not the blending away and not the patchiness thus far with any of the shades and shadows that we're using. So with that being said, I'm very happy, very impressed. But again, with Natasha Denona shadows, I don't necessarily expect anything else. However, I do provide a little leeway for certain shades because I do know that they're a little harder to formulate. But so far, so good. And like I said, I don't know that I would have initially chose these colors to really use. But since we're here and I'm doing it, I'm actually really liking, well, I really do actually like what we just came up with. Okay, so I'm liking that. And since I'm already working with this smaller brush, I think I'm going to go ahead and start slightly on the lower lash line. I think for the lower lash line, I think now I'm going to use the color Zeal. So the color Zeal is kind of that olivey khaki color. And I think I'm going to just run a little bit of that on the lower lash line. One, just to see what it looks like, and two, so we can kind of utilize some more of these colors in a different way. And it is actually fairly deep. So to me, this is kind of like that military khaki green that we have going on right there. But I like it. I'm not mad at it. So if you're somebody who maybe would like to use this as a liner, you can. If you got a smaller brush, you could go ahead and put it a little closer to the waterline, and you would be able to use this more as a liner versus a buffing out color. And I don't want to get it too much because I don't want it to look like we've been injured, but at the same time I do want to ground the look. I think that this Wayne Goss brush is a perfect brush to do it because it's small enough to get close, but it's also fluffy enough to blend it out. So I didn't take it into the super inner corner. I just kind of went right here and just left probably less than a third in the corner free. But I really, really like that. Okay. Let's look now at the brow bone. There's not really something that would be a traditional brow bone color, but I think for just sake's purposes, I'm going to go in with the color Calm, which is this kind of very peachy color right here. I'm going to take the same wing gloss brush, which is the number 5, which is what we just did the bottom and the outer corner with, and I'm really just dabbing in very lightly. I'm just going to run it along the under part of my brow, just to give it a little bit of color. And sometimes I think that we think that the brow bone has to be shimmer, cream or white or tan. But really your brow bone color can be whatever it is you would like it to be. Yeah, typically it's something lighter because it's highlighting the brow bone. But if you want to highlight it with a green, if you want to highlight it with a pink or a purple, makeup is makeup. So it definitely is up to you how you choose to or not to kind of utilize your color and your color story. And actually, I think that looks really pretty. So let's go ahead and let's get into what we want our lid color to be. So lid color, we have quite a few. And really, I'm like, oh yeah, I should totally use these blues, right? But I really want to use that one right there. I really want to use that Yama, which I think is a duochrome color, because it has that reflect of the gold and green. So let's go ahead and let's see. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Let's go and see what that looks like. And we're just putting it on with the finger first. Oh, this is beautiful. Just to kind of see what we can get from it. This is gorgeous, guys. Beautiful, 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 beautiful color. I do not like to wet my shimmers at all. I find that sometimes it actually gets them to chunk up together and it ends up looking more like tinfoil, like it's stuck together, and that's not what I want. I do go a little higher on my eyes, as you guys know. I have hooded eyes, so I do take my shimmers up a little bit higher because they're going to migrate anyway. I'd rather have them be placed there than kind of just do it willy-nilly on their own and end up looking wonky when it does it. I don't go all the way into the corner with my color because I am going to put another color there. But guys, take a look at that. The one without, the one with. This is beautiful. Can you guys see that reflect? I hope you guys can see it. That reflect with that green. So beautiful. What I do want to try is, I don't know if you guys ever purchased, let me see. Let's hope that I have it in here. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you guys ever purchased this. I think this is NYX. Yeah, this is the NYX eyeshadow brush. And what it has is a, I guess, rubber tip, you would say, on the end. So it's supposed to kind of mimic if you were to wet your brush, or maybe even the oils from your fingers. So that way you can get something precise, but you can also kind of get a little bit more oomph. So I'm going to pack this color onto this NYX brush, if you guys can see right there. And I'm going to try this and see. Oh yeah. You see that? That packs it on even more. This is a beautiful color. So I'm going to say that for me and my perspective, I think this is a duochrome. Because in the pan, it looks pink. But on the eye, it might be a triochrome. But it definitely has pink and green reflex. And I feel like I even see gold in there. But that is just absolutely, positively gorgeous. Now on the other eye, I am going to start with my finger first, just because I started with my finger first here. And so I want to try to maintain consistency of color and color saturation with the look itself. So let's go ahead and do this. This is just, oh, such a nice surprise from Natasha Denona. How many of you guys just heard that this is coming out from Trend Mood? I hope that the rest of you guys who did decide to go ahead and pre-order on Natasha's site got yours already. I assumed that pre-order meant, you're putting your order in, so that way when it launches on the 10th, yours would then be shipped. You didn't have to kind of do the whole wait in line, potentially not be able to get it, that type of thing. I didn't realize that the Natasha Denona website was not only putting you on the list for pre-order, but in fact, they were going to ship your stuff out ASAP. But I'm happy that they did, because I really wanted to get my hands on this and play with it. And it is just such a beautiful, beautiful palette. And like I said, Natasha Denona is a super, super, super auto buy for me. Um, I just really, really love what she does with eyeshadows. And I kind of love that her minis don't necessarily also always represent the kind of namesake that they have. Like this to me does not necessarily look like the mini Zendo, although the feel is slightly the same, because I feel like you're not buying like the same palette. You know, like you could buy the mini Zendo, but you're definitely not getting what you're getting from the actual Zendo palette. So I kind of really like that. So this is, guys, that is freaking beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to take the Wayne Goss number 5 brush and we're going to figure out what we're going to do kind of in this inner corner because my little phalanges are just slightly too big to go in there. And I think now what we want to do, I think I'm going to be bold. And I think that I'm going to go in with the color Flow, which is this blue metallic right there. I'm just going to do it because why not? It's just makeup. We're just giving it a try. If we don't like it, that's okay. The next time we can do something different. But I think I just want to see what this will look like right here in this inner corner. And I do always drag my inner corner. I shouldn't say my inner corner, but the first third of my shadow. I do drag it inward and upward to kind of blend it together to kind of provide a gradient for my shadow. So that's what we're looking like. Oh my gosh, guys. Guys, if you are somebody who enjoys color, but maybe the Circo Loco was either too much color or the layout was just a little bit out of your wheelhouse, because I do think the layout is what detoured a lot of people from that palette because it was just so sporadic and chaotic. Because I've seen some people redo the layout and the palette looks completely different. And I've seen people just swatch the colors and the palette looks completely different. But then when you look at the palette, it really can detour a lot of people because it's an odd layout. Even though it's a circus type theme, it was an odd layout. Guys, can we get into this right now? That is gorgeous. This is freaking gorgeous. Okay, so now that we have that done, what I usually will do is I'll go back in with just a brush to kind of blend out the top part of my eyes, especially because, like I said, I don't use, I go above my eye crease because I have hooded eyes. I do want to make sure it doesn't stay harsh, so I usually use the Jaclyn Hill number 30 brush, and I just come in here and just make sure that everything has a nice blend to it. It doesn't look harsh. It doesn't look like it was like placed there with a weird line. But it looks more like it always was supposed to be this way, and kind of gives you a very, very sparkly eye. And like I said, I would not have utilized these shades together in this way outside of being with you guys, but you guys are very inspiring and had me use this. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to use the Wayne Goss number 5 brush again, and we're going to look at an inner corner highlight. So for the inner corner highlight, I don't want to necessarily use gold, although it almost looks like it's pinky gold down here, because like you gotta remember, these two are the same colors. It's like pinky gold here, and then it's like that greeny shift up here. That's the same shadow. Those aren't two different shadows. I literally only have, as far as my light, I have two shadows on. This blue right here, and then this green, gold, pink. That's all one shadow. The blue is one, and the green, gold, pink is one shadow. So I think what I'm going to do in the inner corner is I think I'm going to take the color Tranquil, which is this pink right here. I think I'm going to put that in the inner corner for a highlight. I'm just going to go in right here and kind of connect it to that blue that I had, connect it to the color Flow. And I do tend to bring my inner corner highlight just slightly down to my lower lash line to make sure everything just merges together and makes a cohesive look. That's just how I choose to do my eyeshadows. I like things to look cohesive and not like they were just kind of placed haphazardly. So I think that looks really pretty. Okay. Let's see. Do we want to do any other kind of shadow really butted up against the waterline? Because I am going to use a liner. I don't think so. So we use, out of 15 shadows, we utilize the color Balance, the color Flow, we use the color Tranquil, the color Calm, the color Yama, and the color Zeal. So we use 6 colors out of 15 are on my eyes right now, and it looks absolutely beautiful. So again, let's get into this coloration, this palette. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is the look we came up with 6 of the shadows, and I think that it looks absolutely beautiful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize my liner. I'm going to put some mascara on, then I'll come back and I will show you guys the finished look, so that way we can have a quick chat about it and see what it looks like when it's all done up. All right, so I will be right back once I get all that put on. All right, guys, we are totally back, and I kept you pulled in so that way you guys could really see the overall look. I'm just going to scoot up slightly a bit more. So this, guys, is the look that we got. So let me go ahead and give you a little look-see-loo. This is the look that we came up with, guys. What I ended up doing is I lined my waterline with the Marc Jacobs highliner in Odyssey, which, as you can see, is this beautiful turquoise metallic color. I think it played beautifully with this look. Like, if you were to look at all the colors we put on our eyes today, you'd be like, girl, ain't none of that gonna go together. But I think it worked absolutely beautiful. I love it, and I think this is going to be a beautiful summer look. The top liner, where you usually would use like a black liquid liner, I didn't want to go quite that heavy because I really did like the look that the shadows were giving. So again, I used a Marc Jacobs highliner, and what I used was, and this wasn't a liquid liner, this was just his regular gel liner, it was in the color Plumage. So this purple one was on top and this turquoise one was on the bottom, and I think the purple one provided kind of in between what a black and a brown would have done, but instead of it being in liquid, it's just a, you can tell something's there, but you can also tell it's not black or brown. It's just adding some extra dimension to it. And then that turquoise on the bottom is really, really coming through in the clutch. And then the mascara that I use for both the top and the bottom, and usually I use the Clinique bottom mascara to utilize my bottom mascara always. But what I've been using, I just got this, I think 3 days ago from Target, is the Maybelline Sky High Lash Sensational Lashes. And I really love what it does for the top lashes. It really does lengthen them. But also, as long as you're very careful, I think what it does to the bottom is it also gives it almost that fake lash effect and kind of that baby doll look. And I think especially with all the colors that we have going on right now, I think that it just made it look absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And I can say I'm here for it, y'all. I think that this is a very nice look. Again, this was quick. This was on the fly. Like, I hadn't been looking at the shadows to say, ooh, what kind of look do I think I'm going to come out with? And I think that it was nice because we didn't do the stereotypical just pink look. Kind of just soft, like mauvey pink. We didn't do the brown look. What we did was we kind of did go outside the box with the shadows. We did use a blue. We did use, the multi-chrome, chrome, dual chrome, whatever you want to call it, look. We absolutely did use some variations of shades that maybe we would not have put together or that people were going to stray from. So that way, one, this kind of first impression could really be of value to you guys because we're not using the standard stereotypical shades that we kind of really know how they work from most brands and what they look like, but also so that way you guys again can see what they look like on maybe a skin tone that looks like yours. And even though my swatches were absolutely horrible, at least you guys could see what the colors look like from pan to skin tone, because they do change. That's just the fact of the matter. Depending on your skin tone, from the pan to you, they are going to change. So you guys could really see what potentially it might look like. For reference, I am an NC 43, I believe 0.5 in MAC. I am a Gucci, I have it right here. I am in the Gucci formulation. I'm a Gucci 340N. In ColourPop, I am a dark 17N. In Catrice, the Hydro BB Cream, I am 40 Tan Warm. And in the Smashbox Studio Skin 24-Hour Hydra Foundation, I'm a 3.2. So those are just some quick references. My undertones do tend to be neutral olive. and that is kind of spot on. But sometimes I do a neutral olive golden, and then because olive sometimes can be hard to find, I will do a neutral with a light golden undertone, because if I do too golden, I'll look real oompa loopy really, really fast. So guys, get into this look. How do you like it? Let's just take one last look at this, shall we? Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So guys, thanks so much for kind of having this impromptu video with me. If you guys enjoyed it, please give me not one, but two very enthusiastic thumbs up. If you guys have pre-ordered this palette and got it, let me know what you think about it. If you haven't pre-ordered it, but are going to, get on that Natasha Denona website right now. Like I said, I believe this is dropping May 10th, and it is May 8th right now, I believe. Let me go ahead and take a little look-see at my phone. May 8th right now. I am going to edit this video ASAP and hopefully have it up tonight. So I will leave links below to any place where you can buy it. If Sephora already has it up for you to purchase on the 10th, I'll leave the link. So when the day comes, you guys can go there. Natasha Denona, I'll leave the link. Any links I can find where you guys may be able to purchase it for pre-order or on the 10th, I will leave down below. If you guys have any thoughts or feelings about Natasha Denona palettes being released too close together, or coming out with a Zendo palette after she's already had the mini Zendo, kind of tell me what you guys' thoughts and feelings are about that. Tell me what you think about the look that we got into right now. Did you expect it to work? Because I was a little shaky right there. You know, for a minute I was like, girl, ooh, this might go terribly wrong for us. And how did you guys like the look at the end? Do you guys want me to do some more videos on it? Because I definitely want to do another video creating another look and kind of doing kind of a get ready with me with a lot of the new products that I've had lately. So thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me. I love you and I appreciate you as always. Please connect with me in the comment section down below. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified of all my new videos. Follow me at Instagram at Londyn Brielle so you can see what I do when I'm not here on the YouTubes. And guys, let's continue to grow the family. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, make sure you become engaged, because I love you guys and I love talking to you. And until next time, guys, I love you, I will miss you, and I will see you on the flip side. I love you guys. Bye.